Welcome to Rewiring Health, the podcast designed to unlock the secrets of self-worth and healing your mind and body. Hello, I'm Dr. Kelly Kessler, physical therapist, transformation coach, and your host. I spent a whole lot of time and energy seeking out a sense of fulfillment through achievement and validation from others, only to feel exhausted, like it was never enough, and even worse, like I was never enough. The thing is, I didn't even know I was abandoning myself in the process of making sure I was meeting the needs of everyone and everything around me until it significantly impacted my health. Now I live life differently. I live with more peace, more joy, and more freedom in my mind and body. I've uncovered my self-worth, which has allowed me to live more authentically and in alignment with my true self. I see myself and my life through a whole new lens. Are you ready to stop abandoning yourself and begin living your life with more ease and purpose? Let's do this together. Are you someone who tends to worry about the opinions of others or what others think? It can feel so frustrating when you feel like you're in a groove and you have all these things that you want to work towards in your life. And then all of a sudden somebody says something to you that stops you in your tracks. And then it puts that seed of doubt within yourself. Like, am I on the right path? Like, are they right? Is that person right by maybe some of their thoughts of criticism or their opinions of me? Are they right? It can feel so overwhelming, especially when we're trying to achieve anything in our life. And in this episode, I just want to share with you some ways we can really anchor into ourselves so that our feelings are not all over the place based on what someone's opinions are. So if you are someone who tends to self-abandon, someone who pours your energy into other things and people, and you tend to leave yourself last, often you struggle to validate yourself. You tend to look outside yourself for that level of validation, whether it's achievement, whether it's hitting your numbers in your job, or it is the amount of money in your bank account, or it is the weight on the scale. You can tend to rely on the things outside yourself for that sense of worth, for feeling like you're good enough. And this can be such a tumultuous cycle to get stuck in. And so when you are in the cycle of validating yourself or feeling worthy based on something outside yourself, the opinions of others can weigh heavily on you. It can deeply, deeply affect you. And so I want to share with you, I'm reading this book and I want to share with you this quote because it hit me and I just really appreciate the quote here. So it says, as you come to recognize the power of your own consciousness and what is behind your eyes, so to speak, holds more power than what appears in front of them, your inner and outer perceptions change. And it really just spoke to me because this is something that we tend to relinquish. The power behind our eyes, recognizing that what we have within ourselves, when we don't allow that to hold the most value, to hold the most weight in our perceptions and how we move through our life, and we allow things outside ourselves to hold that weight and to carry us in through life, then we're really relinquishing a lot of our own inner power. And that's where it comes when we rely on others' opinions for the way we feel, and we worry about what others think of us, and we stop listening to what we think of us. What is the opinion of ourselves? What is the value that we hold in ourselves? Then we really are running into a really vicious cycle. And so I want to share with you 3 ways that we can really anchor into our own value and we can really validate ourselves so that we don't have to rely on the opinions of others. There's always going to be somebody who is going to hate on what you're doing. It could be family, it could be friends, it could be a stranger. There's always going to be someone whose opinion of you and what you're doing, and they are going to bring negativity into whatever you pursue in your life. That's just the name of the game. And if we allow those opinions to stop us in our tracks and not pursue what we are desiring in our life, not pursue our goals because of those opinions, then we are the ones that are suffering because of that. And so I want to share with you 3 ways that you can start to value your own opinions over the opinions of others and stop worrying about what other people think. So number one is to recognize, how are my thoughts and behaviors impacted by the opinions of others? So if you had somebody say something to you, what was the way you were acting and thinking and behaving before you heard that, as opposed to after? Now, sometimes you can have the thoughts of self-doubt when you hear an opinion of you or someone's negative thoughts about you. Self-doubt can creep in. You can really start questioning yourself. You can invalidate yourself. So start to recognize, what are my thoughts that I'm experiencing right now because of what this person said to me? And have my behaviors changed? So maybe you were really going hard on a project and then somebody had a comment and it just threw the whole energy off. Maybe you just felt like you lost your momentum. You took the wind out of your sails. Recognize the change between what was happening before this person's opinion and what happened after this person's opinion. That awareness will bring a lot of light into what's going on within you. Number two is to dive into the meaning that you're giving that. So if somebody is questioning your intentions, or somebody is questioning what you're doing as far as a project you're working on, what is the meaning that you give to that person? Do you all of a sudden not feel quite as worthy of success in that project? Do you all of a sudden doubt your ability in that project? What is the meaning that you're giving to that? Is your worth attached to that person's opinion? Do you all of a sudden not feel quite as worthy of achieving what you want to because they had a negative opinion of that? Start recognizing the meaning that you're giving that person, because in that meaning, that is the power that you are relinquishing. When you give someone else's opinions a strong sense of meaning, and even worse, attach it to your sense of self, your sense of worth, that is where this can spiral out of control very quickly. Because again, there's always going to be something external to you that is going to try to pull you down. And if you are attaching a strong meaning to that person's opinion or to something outside yourself, you are leaving yourself very vulnerable into a place where you could literally relinquish yourself in that. You could lose yourself. You can relinquish your own values, things that are deeply meaningful to yourself. And number three is, do I value the opinion more than my own? Do I value their opinion more than my own? This is a big question. And so this is something you can ask yourself. The next time you're worried about what someone's thinking, do you value their opinion more than you value your own opinion? That can be such an eye-opener. And just by asking yourself that question, it can really just bring light to what your experience is in that. And especially for those of you who tend to self-abandon, it's not uncommon for us to value others' opinions over ourselves. And this is where we run into trouble, because we are the person writing the story of our own life. And when we relinquish the power to someone else outside ourselves, who maybe doesn't have the best interests in us, who maybe doesn't have the best intentions, or who is just not living our life, then we are not allowing us to have the power to write our story, to create the life that we want, to create the life that we desire. We are handing our power over to someone else. So ask yourself, do I value their opinion more than I value my own opinion? So the next time you're running up into something that you feel like you're being stifled by people's opinions, you're worried about what people are thinking, you're ruminating about what the other person's experience is, more than your own experience, I want you to, again, go through these 3 steps. Number one, bring that awareness. How is this impacting my thoughts and behaviors? So what happened and what was going on within you before you heard that opinion? And what is going on within you after you heard that? Number 2, what is the meaning that I am giving that? What am I attaching to that behavior that person did, or that opinion that person shared? What's the meaning I'm giving that? And so again, it's coming from within you. It's something that you can change. You can change the meaning. That's where your power comes in. And number 3 is, do I value their opinions more than my own opinion of myself? Asking yourself that question can be a big wake-up call. And it can really just help you anchor into yourself, into your own knowing, your own truth. And the more you can anchor into yourself and what you desire out of life, it becomes easier. You don't have to all of a sudden relinquish your power and energy to things outside yourself. You don't have to worry about what people are going to think. Yeah, it might cause some rifts in between relationships, but so be it. If it's going to cause you to abandon yourself to keep those relationships going because of the opinions of others, it's not worth it. At the end of the day, you will not regret holding true to yourself. You will not regret loving yourself. You will not regret valuing yourself, valuing your opinions and the direction that you choose in life. So, next time you are experiencing some self doubt or just low emotions because somebody had a negative opinion, I want you to go through these 3 steps. I hope this helps, and I would love to hear from you in the comments. Or just send me a message on Instagram or Facebook under Dr. Kelly Kessler. Let me know how this goes for you, and thank you so much for joining me today.